All right, Ultra Noops Nation. My name is Reed Nelson. This is Luke Hanlon. Dream League Insider Recap Show. Okay, a lot to talk about tonight. We're only going to gloss over it because we have a podcast and obviously your recap article to touch on. Let's touch on the last game. We both got it wrong. Polars defeated Mustangs at the end. The big story for me was Talonzale Thompson didn't play a majority of the game. He came in at the end and essentially refused to come out. It became a 4-on-5 game. He probably missed 2 or 3 shots. It just really messed things up. With, getting straight to the point, did he lose that game for the Mustangs?
I wouldn't put the whole blame on him, but he definitely receives the biggest part of it from me. He's got to know that late in that game, he just really shouldn't be in the game. He was taking bad shots, a few of them. I know Casey was very disappointed in him a few times, especially after he would take some threes. Defensively, it didn't help too much either. When you're in a close game like that, you have to have your best 5 guys on the floor, and they didn't until about the last minute of the game, and it ended up costing them the win.
Yeah, and he was the last player drafted in the draft. There has to be that understanding. So, statement win for the Polars?
A little bit. It doesn't look as good, obviously, because Glenn Fair was a no-show again this week. If he's here, you never know how this game's going to go. But it was impressive, like you said. You thought the Mustangs would really match up well physically with the Polars, which I think they did throughout the game. You should see Dustin DuPont was bothering Brian Munsell, but I think overall it was Munsell who came through at the end that really got them this W.
Yeah, he kept hitting big shot after big shot. I'm not sure what he had, probably 15, 16 points would be my guess.
I think it was more than that, a little bit. But
really? Okay. Generals make it a game against the Knights. First off, Brandon Williams shows up, and he actually shows up. That guy can absolutely play. This game was sort of a mess. Ahmed Helmi, the Knights general manager, was not here. It just wasn't a clean-looking game. Knights pull through in the end. Both teams at full strength, which was awesome to see. Talk a little bit about this win for the Knights.
It was impressive. I think the Generals showed me a lot, too. Granted, we don't know too much about the Knights this far. We've only seen them play 2 games you'd probably say a little bit lower teams. But I was more impressed with the Generals, although I was very impressed with the Knights not having a GM. And they made the right substitutions all the time. They knew when guys were tired. They knew to keep certain guys on the floor and keep certain guys off. They had the rotations down. Very impressive win without a GM. And kind of a momentum builder, you would think, to get a win like that. And I think the Generals have a lot of positives to take out of the game as well, though.
Like Iron Man is going on right behind us. Like literally, like I can hear it.
Yeah.
Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne is up. That's who it is, right?
Yes.
So I feel like they're right above us because they probably are. Were the Generals a bigger surprise tonight? Because they were to me.
I think a little bit. I was expecting it to probably be at least a double-digit win for the Knights. But then again, I think they have the kind of pieces to match up with the Knights. They have guys that can score. We saw that from Webb. We saw that from Grant. We saw that from Brandon Williams at times. Brandon Johnson played better this week, I thought. He was very intense throughout, got mad at himself when he didn't do well, was trying to make himself.
Very mad.
Yeah, he was really intense, but in a good way, I think. And overall, I think the Generals can't be too upset with this loss, although they did kind of let it slip away at the end.
Now, the Yellow Jackets didn't score. Pilots defeat Yellow Jackets. Yellow Jackets didn't score their second point until probably 8 or 9 minutes into the game.
That was their first field goal made, too.
And did they take a lead with 6 or 7 minutes left, or were they just down 1?
At one point, it was 19-19, so they tied it up, and then the Pilots kind of took it away from there. Not like they dominated by any means, but the second half, you could just tell the Pilots were more prepared. I was impressed with the Yellow Jackets, but like you said, their offense, again, is just absent for so long that they can't come back from stuff like this, and it's frustrating for them.
They were 4 of 11 from the free throw line, and I want to say 2 of 14 from the three-point line. Mullen Thomas makes a huge difference on defense. He didn't shut down Seth Yonker by any means, but he matched up with him, which was needed. So, I saw a lot from the Yellow Jackets tonight. This is going to be a team that's going to win some games in the next couple weeks. So, although the Pilots proved to be the better squad, it was a 14-point win, but it didn't feel like a 14-point win.
No, not at all. Like you said, Mullen Thomas was great on defense. By far the best defensive performance against Seth Yonker we've seen so far. Offensively, I still think he's settling for way too many jumpers. He needs to get himself in the post better. You could give credit to Yonker there as well. He was great defensively again. Overall, though, by far their best performance, and it's not even close.
Will you be joining the podcast on Thursday?
Yes, I'll be there, 2:30.
We'll talk details later.
Whenever it works.
Thank you, Luke. Appreciate it.